Hi everybody, my name is Gregory Scott. Thank you for joining me today. I'm going to give you a really easy way of finding your vibration in numerology. And the way you do that is you just add up your birthday. Anyone can do this. If you're not wonderful at maths, don't let this put you off. It's basic adding. So let's say your birthday is on the 1st of September 1993. What you do is you add up the numbers. So you split them up and you add them up. So you add up 1, 9, 1993, and what you get is 32. You split the 32 again, you add up 3 and 2, which is 5. And this is a really good example because it just shows you how easy this is. You can't really make a mistake because if you add up the 1st of September 1 and 9, you can add that and get 10, and you can do the rest of the calculation with that. But you can also just add it as a 1. 1 and 9 is 10, drop the 0, make it a 1, and it still adds up to the same thing. So if you add it as a 10, it's 32, becomes 5. If you make it as a 1, it's 23. Add those two up and it becomes 5. So you get to the same point anyway. Okay. Second example, your birthday is the 25th of the 7th, 1970. So you add 2, 5, 7, 1, 9, 7, 0, which comes to 31. Again, the 31 you add up again, 3 plus 1 is 4. Okay, so everything you get as a result, you really boil down to a single digit. You do that for everything except the master numbers 11, 22, and technically 33 and 44. If you get that, just leave those alone and let them be as they are. Okay, so that's how to get the number. What this number means. Okay, so different people call this different things. Some people say this is your rulership number, other people say it's your life lesson number or just your life number. But the way it works is this is really the vibration that shows who you are as a person. So if you are under pressure or if you're just reacting without thinking about stuff, this vibration is really how you are as a person without any kind of input from yourself. It's just what you are, okay? In numerology, what I usually do as well is I look at your name and I do the same process with that, and that looks more at your destiny, okay? So there's two different things. The birthday is what you're like as a person, and then your name really informs me of what your purpose is, what your path is, and all of that stuff. If you compare it with astrology, it's similar to the rising sign, that being who you are automatically without trying, and the sun sign, which is what you're striving to, what you're trying to get towards, okay? So I'm just going to tell you now what each one of these numbers mean. So you could have a number of results going from 1 to 9, and then you could also get the 11, 22, 33, and 44. Those are the options. We don't look at things like 23 and 48 and 75 because we always try and boil everything down to a single digit to give you the clearest kind of message. Right. Number 1 is really the first number, and this number is all about creation, it's about leadership, and it's about new beginnings. So this is the number of the leader. It's the number of the person who wants to make a dent in the universe, okay? And if you think of this as an example, this is the vibration of Steve Jobs, someone who has an idea, goes out there, makes it happen, and really has a huge impact on the world we live in. Number 2 is very much about relationships. If you look at two things, I mean, if you put 1 and 1, the first thing that you get is you've got things that are now interacting with each other or have to interact with each other. So unsurprisingly, this is the vibration of relationship, cooperation, and also enthusiasm. So friendliness and exploration and wanting to get to know other people, but really working in tandem with others. Example of this would be anyone who's really in a relationship, or if you want to look at someone who does relationships well, it's someone who's been married for 40 years or who's been able to maintain a constructive relationship for a long time. The number 3 is all about expression, and you can follow this through almost as a narrative. 1 is the beginning, 2 is relationship, 3 is now, okay, I've got the relationship down, how do I realize myself within this relationship? So it's thinking about creativity, it's thinking about offering something to the world that comes from within you and that's unique and special to you. And that's about looking within and then expressing it outward. Number 4 is about foundation, it's about security, it's about stability. And this is the artist who then turns into an architect, for instance. So, good example of this is Gaudi, the guy who did the buildings in Barcelona. So, the number 3, really think of that as a kind of Picasso type, expressing himself. And then the 4 takes that a little bit further and creates structure and solidity and a real sense of security in their world for themselves, but also in the world for other people. 5 is easy, 5 is freedom. Think of 5 as kind of Amelia Earhart, think of it as Rose in Titanic, someone who doesn't want to be confined by the old traditions, being told what they should do, but who wants to be free and who wants to explore. This can sometimes be quite a challenging vibration because it can also indicate a kind of fickleness and not being able to commit to anything very long because you just want to be free, you want to explore, you want to do your own thing. Number 6 is the vibration of family and responsibility. A good example for this is, Martha Stewart or any kind of, well, she's, a very successful kind of person, but anyone who's really responsible for creating a home situation. Okay, so I think Martha Stewart is quite a good example as well, because this is about taking care of the home, but also learning how to be responsible and learning how to not try and take shortcuts and how to, cut corners here and there and make things easier, but it's to take responsibility for yourself and other people in your life and to do the best you can. Right. Let's get a move on here. 7 is about mind and creativity. That's the primary vibration with this energy, and this is Albert Einstein. This is using your intellect to really make changes. 8 is straight up power. This is Donald Trump. This is power for power's sake. This is, I want to be the biggest. I want to have the flashiest comb over. I want people to notice me when I'm in a room, and I want the money and the means that I have control over other people's lives. This is the boss. 9 is spirituality. This is anyone who's psychic, anyone who's really in touch with that spiritual world. It's anyone who tries to bring through messages for the betterment of humanity. Good example, people like Louise Hay. She's a great example of number 9. Now, this is where we go to the master numbers, and these are the numbers 11, 22, and technically 33 and 44 aren't master numbers, but I use them as master numbers because I feel they're very significant. So each kind of numerologist has their own thing. I really include these because I see them as very important. So these are master numbers because they're called master numbers, first of all, because they're 2 digits, but also because the purpose and the responsibility is very, very powerful. The vibrations of these are felt much more strongly, and the impact is stronger as well. So 11 is the energy of real service and altruism. This is Jesus, helping others, being completely selfless, and just, it's not so much about saving, but really giving of yourself without holding anything back. 22 is the sign of the builder. And this is different from, for instance, 4, which is using creativity and making something solid, or 8, which is building and having power for the sake of power. This is building when things are really tough, and this is building under any circumstances for the betterment of humanity. That's a really important element of this, that you're doing this for the sake of other people. And this is, the energy here is someone like Nelson Mandela, who came out of prison, who could have taken it either way, who had a huge responsibility for the whole country and decided to move forward in a constructive way. Number 33 is the savior energy. And a great example of this is a character from mythology, Chiron, the wounded healer. This is someone who takes their own pain and transforms it for the betterment of others. And then finally, 44, this is real discipline and never giving up and overcoming obstacles, again, for the sake of humanity. And this is really the theme with the master numbers, that it's for the greater good. And a great example of 44 is Thomas Edison, you know, who had to try hundreds and hundreds of times before he got that light bulb to work and never gave up. So those are each of the examples. I'm going to go into more depth with each number. I'll provide the links underneath so you can check out each one of your number, whichever one's yours. So I'll list those underneath. If you'd like a private reading with me where I look at your rulership number, I look at your destiny number, I look at all the different kinds of charts that you can create with numerology, forecast the future, the type of arrows that give an insight into your personality, then please get in touch via the website. It's gregoryscott.com, or have a look on Facebook, facebook.com/gregoryscott444. So I hope you found this video useful. If you've got any questions, please get in touch and I'll speak to you soon.